My friends, I want you to gird up thy loins, and you know exactly what I mean. Because if we don't, then we've lost already. What am I talking about? Bridget Gabrielle has been on my show a few times. She was on over a year ago. She founded and heads up an organization called Act for America. One of the things the organization does is warn the West about the threat of Islam. Well, listen to this. This comes from Brigitte Gabrielle. Over the weekend, CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, the discredited SPLC, and the fake news media went on the attack and publicized our private 11th annual dinner gala being held at Mar-a-Lago this November, honoring House Freedom Caucus members with keynote speaker Michelle Malkin. They launched a full-throttle smear campaign calling us an anti-Muslim hate group. They even attacked the Trump organization for allowing us to hold an event at one of their properties. Regrettably, the Trump attorneys in New York caved to the left's bullying tactics and made a decision to cancel our event within hours of the articles coming out. Although we're disappointed in the cancellation, we continue to stand with President Trump and support him in his fight to save our country. This is yet another example of how freedom of speech is disappearing in our nation. This is straight out of Saul Alinsky's playbook, Rules for Radicals, and we cannot play dead. This is war. We will not stand idly by and allow the left to deplatform conservatives for having the audacity to speak the truth about radical Islamic terrorism, border security, immigration reform, standing with Israel, and the national security threats our nation faces. Unquote. My friends, I know this about bullies. They only bully you until you stand up. And once you stand up and defend yourself, they go away. CARE is a bully. And in this case, and I am amazed to find this out, the Trump organization backed off. They canceled a perfectly legitimate event rather than be criticized by CARE. My friends, if we don't stand up for what's right, then we will always lose. Look what Donald Trump is doing now. He's been under a withering attack since the day he was sworn in as president, and he just fights. He fights, and he fights, and then he fights some more, and he wins because he's got the courage and the guts to fight. Now, these wimps at Mar-a-Lago just gave up, and that's disgraceful. Donald Trump isn't backing off of putting the screws to China because putting the screws to China is what's right and what's good for Americans. He's not backing off the border wall because that's right and that's what's good for Americans. Time and again, he has taken the unpolitically correct decision, and he's succeeding fabulously because he refuses to knuckle under to the bullies. And if we don't stand up for what we know to be true, then we get stuck with stuff like this from InfoWars. Hillary Clinton has jumped to third place behind Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden on Predicted as rumors of her entering the race for a 2020 presidential run continue to build. Clinton is enjoying a bounce due to heightened speculation that she will run again, as well as scandals surrounding Biden's profiteering in Ukraine and claims that Warren lied about being fired from a teaching job for being, quote, visibly pregnant, unquote. So in other words, the fact that Joe Biden is scum, the fact that Elizabeth Warren is scum, has apparently, in the minds of many, thrown open the door to the queen of scum, Hillary Clinton. Hillary, who has not stopped whining and kvetching and complaining and making excuses for 3 years now, rather than having a modicum of class, fading into the background and thanking God Almighty that she's not already in a jail cell. Now she's collecting money and making noise saying that she wants to be president. Well, this goes back to my first item about not standing up. Hillary Clinton is a cretin. She's corrupt. She's inept. She is the most despised woman in America for very good reasons. and like Dracula at the end of a movie, knowing there's going to be a sequel, refuses to die and go away. Hillary Clinton is a monster we can slay, and we won't. Because all the people who know that what I just said is correct, all the people who know what poison she is for America, they're not doing anything about it. They're not opposing her. They're not getting out on social media, spreading the word about what a villain she is. They're not protesting. They're not getting out on the regular media. They're doing nothing. We're sitting awake because we can't believe the spectacle. We've gotten so used to spectacle that we just love it. It's like the Romans used to have bread and circuses. We want to see Hillary Clinton out in public again, humiliating herself and making a fool of herself all over again, and stumbling on the way into a car, and saying outrageously stupid things. Well, speaking of outrageously stupid, there are a lot of Democrat voters out there who will vote for Hillary Clinton, either because they love the spectacle or they are too uninformed to know what a Gila monster she is, or because they also, like Hillary, despise America. You know, there are diseases that went away decades ago, and now they're coming back. Well, here's a disease named Hillary Clinton that went away 3 years ago, and unbelievably, there are people who want her to come back. Make no mistake about it, she will be stomped into mayonnaise by Donald Trump again if she's stupid enough to run against him again. But the fact that America won't put to rest the threats with which we are faced says very discomforting things about our national resolve and the way it is seeped away like sand in an hourglass. Used to be a time when Americans solved problems. Now we just put them off until the next television cycle. It's Tuesday, and it's Real Truth, and that's right. I'll be right back.